Before that, members of the prior administration also knew about them. The question is, what on earth has taken everyone so long to address them? Worse than that, why were some of these officials rewarded? The head of the VA in Phoenix got a nearly $8,500 bonus for her performance last year. By the way, that was rescinded today. Drew Griffin has been covering the story from the beginning. He joins us now from Phoenix. So what do you think, first of all, what the president said today?
You know, I thought these poor veterans are going to have to wait now even longer to get care while the president studies the issue, Anderson.
Oh, wow. Oh. It's just unbelievable and deplorable that the Veterans Administration and their hospitals cannot supply them with high quality medical care. Now, I was not in the military. I think I've been to a veterans hospital one time, and that was because I had a business and I sold some supplies to them. I had to go over to sign a contract or whatever. So, but I spent 30 years working in hospitals, but I know nothing about veterans hospitals. But that's not going to stop me from giving my opinion. You know that I've got over 300 videos here on YouTube, and I give my opinion on a lot of things, and being stupid on the subject is, I'm sure, not going to stop me this time. You know, number one, it's just, that should not happen, that our veterans are not getting the highest quality of medical care. It just should not happen. Excuse me. Excuse me. Something needs to be done, and this has been a problem not just under President Obama, but it was under the President Bush, and it's been a continuous problem all the time, and you know, I don't understand why. I'm sure there have been congressional hearings about it, and I don't know what in the hell they found, you know, is the problem, and they haven't fixed it. I'm sure the Republicans now will be going crazy on this subject. I mean, we should all be crazy on this subject, and members of Congress should be, and you know, the president just, I guess, made a speech, I didn't hear it, but is really upset and demanding that something be done. But I'm sure the Republicans are going to have their Benghazi, you know, there's going to be they're going to make it into an attack on President Obama. But what Congress needs to do is fix the problem. Okay, now, I spent most of my life born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri. And in Kansas City, Missouri, there is one veterans hospital. The last hospital that I worked for, and I worked for them for 18 years, when I started working for them, they were, you know, one hospital. During the time, after 5 years, they built a secondary hospital out in the small town that I lived in, so I went to work out there. But I worked at other hospitals. The hospital that I worked for, that I'm telling you about, Research Medical Center, they formed a non-profit, see, was that in their non-profit corporation? I can't remember. They formed, you know, they formed a corporation, and Health Midwest, and the reason they said they were doing it was because they had to become bigger, and they could buy stuff. I mean, just all kind, you know, in order to keep the for-profit hospital corporations from coming into Kansas City, Missouri and running health care or whatever. And of course, as soon as they started with, with that, I told the guys I was working with, I said, well, they'll eventually sell out to, oh, no. I said, yep. And of course, after I retired, they sold out to whatever they named their criminal outfit is going under Health Hospital Corporation of America, whatever, sold out to them. But anyway, they formed this corporation and they took over, I think it was 14 other Kansas City hospitals. Now, there were still other hospitals in the Kansas City. That shows you how many, this one corporation owned 14 hospitals in the Kansas City area. And now keep in mind there's one veterans hospital in the Kansas City, Missouri area. So, and the hospitals that I worked at, we had veterans show up. They had, I'm sure it changes from time to time. I think it was Champus or Campus or I don't know, whatever. They had an insurance card. They'd show up. The hospital loved to have them. They had health insurance, and they came in and they got treated. Why can't the hospitals, and I understand, of course, that I'm sure would need to be like a veterans hospital in Washington, D.C. There would need to be a veterans hospital in, Germany. Where's that place that you always hear when there's something and American veterans are flown to Germany. So I don't know about outside the United States, but in the United States, why can't the private non-profit, which is a bunch of crap, why can't those hospitals take care of the veterans? Now, I understand there may be some, perhaps a veterans hospital has to have more psychiatric units for some reason because of post-traumatic stress, There has got to be, I'm talking about a total change in the way the Veterans Administration operates to give the people better medical care. Now, I'm sure there's not one, there would have to be adjustments made. But have the veterans in the greater Kansas City, Missouri area, they could go to any hospital and they could be treated. Or the hospitals in the greater Kansas City area could jointly form a corporation. They fucking love to form corporations. They could form a corporation and they could operate the Veterans Hospital as they could keep the name, Kansas City VA Hospital, whatever, and they could operate it. Although they might need to, why keep this one place, they could keep what they had to keep there and farm out the rest to tell these people you can go, to any of these other hospitals, But I wouldn't want to see, I saw hospitals over the years do everything in the world. The government tries to hold down medical costs. And let me zoom in here. The hospitals tried to, hold down medical costs. And I saw the hospitals, they set up corporations, set up off-site surgery centers, dialysis centers. No matter what the government tries to do to reduce costs, the hospitals are going to get that money. They're going to figure out how to do it. So, why couldn't why couldn't the government say, and the hospitals get, I bet you all the hospitals that I worked at, I bet they got 70 or 80% of the money, their income came from Medicare and or Medicaid coming in. I mean, they're depending, the government is paying them all this money. Why couldn't the hospitals, and you could do it on a test, you could just say the state of Missouri, this is the way it's going to be in the state of Missouri. Of course you have to pass legislation. But say that, sort of bring it down to Kansas City, Missouri, the hospitals, any hospital that receives money from the federal government, which they all do, will be in this pool, and you have to provide medical care for the veterans in the greater Kansas City area, and you have to meet the following conditions, and things have to be met. There again, I was not a veteran. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just think that and then the money that the Veterans Hospital, well, in that case, you take part of, in other words, make the hospitals in the greater Kansas City area, of course, make them bear part of the cost because they're getting a whole bunch of, make them, they should make some type of a sacrifice because these are our veterans and because they served the nation. And so why can't these hospitals, they're going to be getting extra money coming in, why can't we figure something out? And something else that we could do, which I do not understand why there's a problem with the government taxing excess profit. The pharmaceutical companies, there again, they make unbelievable money, and they're making it from Medicare and just Medicare alone. Why couldn't we? And they make tons of money. They make unbelievable profits. I'm talking about the pharmaceutical companies. Why couldn't we put a tax on them of, say, gross, something over, something that's, if they're just making a profit, they're entitled to make a profit. If they're making a nice profit and they're paying their stockholders nice dividends, great, that's wonderful, that's the American way. But there's this tremendous amount of money that they have. Why couldn't we put a 2% or a 5% or a 10% tax on, what would you call it? Well, one thing you couldn't get by calling it the Republicans, their heads would explode. You couldn't call it a tax. But put a charge, a surcharge or something on that, and that money would go to take care of veterans in excess of whatever the federal government decided, through the Veterans Administration. There's got to be something different done, but I don't think it's going to change. There have been these scandals in the past, and it doesn't change. And I don't understand why it can't change. I don't understand why but the medical field is unfucking believable what goes on. And if something like this were to be done, a change to the Veterans Administration, hospitals and medical care, what I would not want to see happen is hospitals and medical people just making, taking in this money. I'd want to see everybody, and that would be us, if pitching in and and then also want to see that a substantial, unbelievable increase in the medical care that our veterans got. I suspect that, I remember, veterans coming in and saying, oh, hell, I don't want to go to the Veterans Hospital. Can you take care of me here? Yes, no problem. You've got insurance. The hospital loved them. But I imagine probably, maybe that there are a lot of people veterans who go to the Veterans Hospital, and that's where they want to go. But I think, I'm guessing at this, and I may be wrong. I've got a feeling that an awful lot of veterans want to go to the Veterans Hospital because they want to go in there and say, I'm a veteran, take care of me. I want first class, but they're not getting first class service. They're getting, and they wouldn't be able to go, there's no way that if you put something like this into effect, there's no way that you could have the veteran show up at these other hospitals and walk in and say, I'm a veteran, I want extra care, I want you to, I'm in the waiting room here, I'm at the ER window, this person that's over here on this cart is having a heart attack, and this person over here has asthma and bronchitis and can't breathe, and this person over here has a little child who has an artery that is spurting out blood or whatever, and I've been having a cough, but I'm a veteran, I want to be seen right away. It would have to be, they would have to be triaged like everybody else and treated like everybody else, except, they should be able to, no copay, no, I'm a veteran, and maybe you could even have it they come in and they're a veteran and they slide their card or whatever and the paperwork and everything is taken care of, where somebody like myself goes in and they ask you, all those questions over again. But that's my 2 cents. If I'm missing something, especially those of you who are veterans, maybe leave a comment and let me know why there has to be. Now, there would have to be Veterans Hospital someplace. Like I said, Kansas City, Missouri, there's a Veterans Hospital. I'm guessing that in every major city there's a Veterans Hospital. Maybe there has to be Veterans Hospitals someplace. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but something needs to be done. This is totally unacceptable that someone, joins the military, serves in uniform, does their duty, is promised, benefits. I don't have a problem with the government changing later on the benefits. If somebody goes in the military now and they can retire in 20 years with 50% of their benefits or their former, I don't know how it works out. I don't have a problem with that. Now, if the government wants to change it and say, for the new people who come in, when you're enlisting, no, you can't retire with full benefits or whatever it is at 20 years. You have to serve 25 years. I don't have a problem with changing for the new people, but the people who have been promised, the veterans who have been promised something, those promises positively, need to be kept. So, really on this subject, if you have some reason why the veterans leave a comment below, I'll be interested. Thanks very much.